Good morning. Welcome to My Hobby Home. My name is Cathy. It is Saturday morning here. I've done my Saturday morning errands and went to my garden and pulled out some more jalapenos. I am going to be pickling these jalapenos today for you. It is a simple recipe. Just a simple water vinegar mixture with a garlic in it. But I just want to show you how easy this is. Even for small harvest, I've had these in the fridge, and I had a few come off my vine and I plant, and I wanted to go on and get them pickled up. So first thing we're going to do, I'm about to put my jars over in my pan. They're already washed and sterilized, but I'm going to bring them up warm. I have my lids warming up. I've got my warm water here to put my jars in, because as I slice my jalapenos, I'm going to be putting them in these jars. So, but first thing, let me go on. I have elephant garlic here. I am going to cut it in 4 pieces because it's quite large. As you can tell, it's pretty big here. Gonna cut those ends off. Oh, it smells lovely. I love the smell of garlic. Just gonna drop a quarter down in each jar. I don't think I'm gonna do, I may only get 2 jars, but I'll show you what I do if I only get 2 jars. I am gonna go on and slice or cut those up. Let me go on and start on these these jalapenos. I'm only cutting them about a quarter of an inch. There, you'll see. Now, my husband loves pickled jalapenos. I can no longer eat them, but I used to love them. My taste buds have changed to where anything with a little spice is too spicy for me. So I'm going to go on and put these in here. Now, I'm not going to show you every single jar that I'm doing, but you'll see. I'll show you right here how I'm putting them in there. And most people, yes, when you're doing this, please wear gloves. Since I have glasses on, I'm not really worried about juice splashing in my face or anything. But make sure to pack your jalapenos in there. I don't know, I may get 4 jars, because some of these jalapenos are quite large. But what I'm doing here is, I'm just, like I said, I'm just cutting them to about a quarter of an inch thick, so they'll all process. Now, I'm doing half pints just because my husband is the only one that eats these, and he would literally sit here and eat one of these jalapenos just raw. He loves them that much, so I can't do that. But I'm going to leave a ½ inch of head space on each of these jars. And these, for some reason, not for some reason, I have fertilized my poor 2 little jalapeno bushes to everything, and they've done really well this year. I'm quite surprised because I don't think we were a week in having them planted, and we had a storm come through that broke one of them completely in half, and I just left the root down in the ground and staked it up the best I could. But I've gotten, as you can tell, this is my second cooking of jalapenos that I'll be making. The first time I only got, I think, 2 jars off of it, but that was okay. 2 jars is better than no jars. And if you can tell, I'm going to do it in my Nesco pressure canner, but the Nesco pressure canner has a water bath can option. Looks like I am going to use these other 2 jars, which is okay. I have my solution or mix or liquid portion over here, bringing it to a boil. Let me cut it up so it'll bring it a little faster there. I didn't want it to go too fast because I was afraid I would boil it before I was ready. But my husband could eat jalapenos plain. He eats them with almost every meal. He does work off, so he's not here for every meal. So these are not going to stay until he works back off and comes home. So I'm going to go on and just can them up, and he can have them pickled. He loves jalapenos any way he could get them. I have some more that I'm leaving on the plant that I'm going to let them turn red, because once a jalapeno is not really fully ripe until it's red, but you can eat it, of course, in the green stage. We always do, always have, but oh, it looks like, well, it's going to be a small 4th jar. I could probably run outside and grab another jalapeno off the bush that's still real green to add to this jar. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Hang in there, folks. I'll be right back with you. Okay, I am back. So done washed it off real good. I'm gonna go on and get this one. I hope this will be enough. If not, we'll just have one jar not completely full. Yeah, it's just, take one out of that one and put in there. And now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to push this out over here out of the way. Real quick. Now, you probably notice I'm close to my counter here. My little butcher block island slides back and forth. I have it on sliders, so I can move it easy. Because when I don't can right here under my cabinets because I don't want all that moisture under there. I pull it out here, and I'll even throw a towel over it to can. So let me, for this to boil, there it is. Okay. So I'm just pouring this over. I don't know if you can see it. Let me pull it over where you can for sure. Okay. I'm just going to pour it from the boiler. I know I made too much, so I'm not really worried about it. Okay, now that's done. What I'm going to do is knock the air bubbles out of it. I just take a long spoon here. And if it's too much liquid, I'll just do this. I'll just take the little spoon and pull it out until it's just right. Now I keep making sure there's no bubbles in there. And make sure that all of your jalapenos are down in that liquid there. I don't know that that really matters if it is, but I like them to be. Because I know if they're down in there, they're definitely getting pickled. Okay, this one needs a little bit more. Now I will show you what I'm going to do with this solution. What's left, I'm just pouring over in there. It's just vinegar and water, and that vinegar keeps from having a film on my jars, which is fine. I mean, it's not going to hurt. I would be pouring it down the sink otherwise, and it's hot. So, whoop. I did not wipe my jars off. I'm very bad about forgetting to do this, which you should do this. First off, while you're rubbing the rim of your jar, you should check this before you start doing this. But if there's any type of imperfection on that rim, you will find it, especially using a paper towel, because it will catch it. If there's any kind of, I'm going to wipe that one again. Okay. Just making sure there's nothing that's going to stop that seal there. And when you do this, make sure you only do this finger tight. This is finger tight. And I'll show you how you can do that. Okay, I'm going to go in and put this over in my canner. I already have some hot water in here, but I know the 4 half pints are not going to fill that up, so I will show you what I do in regards to that. Whew. We're going to go on and keep tightening all of these up. Now, I don't know if I told you how much of this I put in. I've got 4 cups of vinegar and 1 1/3 cup of water. That is my liquid, pickling liquid that I've used. This recipe normally does 6 half pints. And you see I have a Nesco, so I don't normally do a big thing. Now, this here that I put that in, I'm just going to pour that in because that's hot water also. And we know we have to fill it above the jars. But let me show you how I do that. Let me get these out of the way. Okay. I have 2 wide mouth pints. I probably only need to do 1 wide mouth, but I'll do both of them. They're kind of, I don't know what happened to these jars. They were given to me and I have yet to be able to get the stuff out of them. But this was boiling water. I put just enough in it. Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, I want another one in there too. I'm going to go in and pour the rest of this in. that is now over the tops of my jars. And move this over, because what I'm going to do, when you water bath can, you just close the lid. You don't do anything else. I'm going to move this over. Now, of course, this is quite heavy. This is very heavy doing this when it's full of water. But you're going to make sure it's turned on exhaust there. Yeah. And what you're going to do, you're going to click water bath. Then you're going to press your time for 10 minutes. What this is going to do is bring it to a boil, and it can take 20 minutes for that to happen. So I'll fast forward you through this, but before I do that, I want to show you kind of what I use. This right here, I actually printed this offline. This right here is the Nesco operating manual, I guess. But it tells you, you know, like to water bath, it gives you all of your instructions. And it tells you to use like a qualified source for the recipe. I will show you the two books that I use. I use, my counter's wet, the Complete Guide to Home Canning. See if you can see that. That's the USDA Complete Guide to Home Canning. I used that. The last revision that I was able to find was 2015. There may be a newer one, but that's the one I use. And then I used the Ball Complete Book of Home Preserving. It has a lot of recipes in here too. I also use a lot of recipes that were my grandmother's that she did. She did not pickle jalapenos, so I don't have a recipe for that. The main two recipes that I use of hers is a fig preserve and a we call them red pickles, but they're like cinnamon rings. What you do is you take what most people call the cloves of the cucumbers. So a clove is when the cucumber's gotten really big and they're tough. That is what you want to make the cinnamon pickles out of. But I may actually make a video of that, but it takes 3 days to make those pickles. But I tell you, you will not regret it one bit. They are delicious. I try to make a batch every year, I think. Last year, I think I got 20 pounds, maybe, of cloves, and we're just about out of the pickles. That's how we eat them almost every meal. You'll eat 1 or 2 slices, because you cut them about a 1/2 inch thick. But I'm going to let this run. It will beep when it gets to boiling, and then it will start the countdown, and I'll have to it'll start boiling it for 10 minutes, and let me see, I know on the pressure and the water they're two different, so this will tell you it's this, press the water bath steam button. That's this button right here, and press the time. We did that for the 10 minutes, and then we press the start button. And it says your digital dial chase will begin to rotate. The unit should begin to boil in 20 to 25 minutes. You will see a constant stream of steam when the boil has been reached, and then you press the start button. So this isn't really something you can just let go and just leave. You kind of need to be watching for that steam. Once that steam, and you can hear it, once the steam starts, I'll come back and press the start button and it'll start the countdown for 10 minutes. So I'll be back in a jiffy. Okay, now I've just hit the start button and I'm going to throw that on there. Okay, the water bath canner has now shut off. What we have to do now is wait 5 minutes for this to cool down. I normally let it cool down almost all the way. I do not like touching hot jars, but I have to get my canning pad down, and I'll show you what I do. So I'll be right back when this cools off. Okay, so now we are going to open our canner. I'm going to unplug it first. So I can open it here. I'm going to turn it just a wee bit. And turn it here. Set on the inside of my canner. Okay. Okay, so first things first. I'm going to go on and get this jar out of my way if I can get my handles straight. I'm just going to set that there out of my way, and these little half pints are wanting to fall over. Okay, got one, and you always want to try to keep your jars upright. Woo. Yeah, you can tell that's got a lot of space right there. I guess I didn't pack them real tight, so I guess had I packed them real tight, we would have only gotten 2 jars out of it. But okay. Garlic is looking a little suspect. I actually had to go buy garlic because my garlic didn't do very good this year. But it looks like it changed colors in there. I've never had that happen, but I've never had used elephant garlic either. So I'm hoping that garlic was okay. We're going to close this. And that will cool off. Now, just making sure those are all tight on there. And before long, we'll start hearing the pings of the jars. They really don't like it to be moved around a lot, so I'm just going to lay that down. These will start sealing. They need to sit still for 24 hours. Then you take the bands off. What I'll do is I'll take the band off and I'll clean the rims real good to make sure nothing came out under that band that will spoil the seal or spoil the product. I will clean it really well, and then I will put it on my shelf. I do not stack my jars. I do not store them with the bands on them because I do not want to have a false seal and then somebody gets sick from eating it. So if if the jalapenos go bad, the seal will pop. It'll create a gas and cause the seal to pop. But as long as it seals and stays sealed, you will have a good product here. Or jalapenos, a good vegetable. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. I would love it if you subscribe to my channel, and if you want to see new content as it's uploaded, click on that notification bell and you'll get a notification every time I upload a new video. And until we see each other again, have a very blessed day. Goodbye.